When the world was still young, people looked at the sky, the rivers, the forests, and saw something more than just nature. They felt a pulse, a rhythm, a force that seemed alive. The earth wasn't just soil, it was sacred, and the mountains weren't just towering rocks, they were the bones of gods. The wind that swept through the trees didn't only cool the skin, it whispered ancient truths. From these mysteries, stories were born. Heroes emerged from the myths, heroes who didn't just fight wars or battle monsters, but who carried nature within their hearts, protecting it like a loved one. Nature, to the people of old, wasn't something to be controlled. It was a source of life, both nurturing and powerful, gentle and fierce. And when the world needed saving, when forests were threatened, when storms raged, when the balance of earth, water, and sky was at risk, it wasn't just any warrior who answered the call. It was the heroes who stood in defense of the very land they called home. Their strength didn't come from weapons or armies, but from their connection to the earth, to the rivers, to the sky above. They were the protectors of life itself. In ancient Greece, people told the story of Prometheus. He wasn't a hero in the way many others were. He didn't carry a sword or shield, nor did he march into battle. But his bravery lay in something deeper. He saw mankind, struggling in the cold darkness, and his heart couldn't bear it. The gods had forbidden him from helping, but he defied them, stealing fire from the heavens. Fire, a gift so simple, yet so life-changing. With it, humanity could survive the bitter winters, cook food, and create. Prometheus didn't give them a weapon, he gave them warmth, life, and hope. And for that, he was punished. His story isn't just about rebellion against the gods. It's about a hero who gave mankind the tools to thrive, showing how nature itself could be a source of salvation. Far to the north, in the snow-covered lands of the Norse, there was a tree called Yggdrasil. It wasn't just any tree, it was the heart of the universe, its roots digging into the depths of the earth, its branches stretching into the heavens. The gods, humans, and all creatures were tied to this tree. And like all things in nature, it needed protection. There were creatures, beings, who safeguarded Yggdrasil, ensuring that it continued to thrive, for if it died, so would everything. This wasn't just a story about a tree, it was about life, balance, and the understanding that nature, at its core, needed care and defense. In Chinese mythology, there's a story about Pangu, the giant who created the world. When he died, his body didn't just disappear. His breath became the wind, his eyes the sun and moon, and his flesh the land. Pangu wasn't just a creator, he was the world itself. His sacrifice reminds us that nature and humanity are one. Every tree, every mountain, every gust of wind, they aren't separate from us. They are us. The story of Pangu teaches that the earth isn't just a place we live on, it's a part of who we are. And then there's the Green Man, seen across many ancient cultures. He wasn't a god or a king. He was something even more timeless, an image carved into stone, covered in leaves, staring out from the forests. His face was human, but his body was nature. The Green Man wasn't just a protector of forests, he was a symbol of life's eternal cycle, birth, death, and rebirth. The trees shed their leaves in autumn, but they come alive again in spring. The earth grows quiet in winter, but it wakes, vibrant and full of life, as the seasons change. The Green Man reminds us that no matter how harsh the world may seem, life always finds a way to return. In the Andean mountains of South America, the people believed in Pachamama, the Earth Mother. She wasn't just a goddess, she was the very ground they walked on, the crops they planted, the rivers that sustained them. When they took from her, they gave thanks, understanding that without Pachamama, there would be no life. She wasn't distant or unreachable. She was in every stone, every gust of wind, every drop of rain. The people didn't worship her out of fear, but out of love. Their offerings weren't sacrifices, they were acts of gratitude. Pachamama was family, and family always came first. Across the oceans, in the islands of Polynesia, there was Maui, the trickster hero. He wasn't just known for his cleverness, but for his love of the land and sea. When the days grew too short, and people couldn't finish their work, it was Maui who captured the sun, slowing its journey across the sky. He didn't do it for power or glory, but to help those who relied on the sunlight for their crops. Maui wasn't just a hero of battles, he was a hero of the people, using his gifts to keep nature's balance in check. In Native American stories, the thunderbird soars through the skies, bringing with it the rain. When drought threatens the land, it's the thunderbird's mighty wings that call forth the storm, drenching the earth and saving the crops. But it's not just a bringer of life. The thunderbird also keeps balance, punishing those who would harm the natural world. It isn't feared, but respected. It doesn't just bring rain, it brings hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, nature will find a way to heal itself. These heroes, these guardians of nature, aren't just characters in stories. They represent something much bigger, the belief that nature is alive, sacred, and worth protecting. They stand between the forces that seek to harm the earth and the life it nurtures. Their tales remind us that the earth isn't just a backdrop to our lives, it's a part of us, woven into our very being. Nature heroes aren't just defenders of the forests, the rivers, or the mountains, they are the heartbeat of every story, every myth. They carry the weight of the earth on their shoulders, not out of duty, but out of love. Through them, we learn that the world isn't something to conquer, it's something to cherish, to hold close, and to protect with all our hearts. In the cold, dark world before fire, humanity struggled to survive. The nights were long and bitter, filled with shadows that crept in closer as the sun set. People huddled together for warmth, their breath visible in the freezing air. Every gust of wind seemed like it could steal away the last bit of life in them. They had no fire to light their way, no heat to cook their food. They were at the mercy of the cold, vulnerable, and weak. It seemed that the gods had abandoned them, leaving them in a world that was harsh and unforgiving. But there was one who looked down upon humanity with a heart full of compassion, a titan named Prometheus. Prometheus saw their struggle and could not turn away. He wasn't just any titan, he had a gift that the gods feared, he could see into the future. And what he saw broke his heart. He saw a future where humans would suffer, cold and helpless, their potential never fully realized. He knew that without fire, they would never survive, let alone thrive. But giving them fire wasn't a simple act. Zeus, the king of the gods, had forbidden it. Fire was a divine gift, something that only the gods could possess. If humans were to receive it, they might grow too powerful. Zeus believed that humanity should remain in their place, weak and dependent on the gods. But Prometheus, with his deep love for humanity, couldn't accept this. So, he made a decision. He knew the risks, he knew the punishment that awaited him, but his heart was set. Prometheus was willing to sacrifice everything, even his freedom, to give humanity a fighting chance. In the dead of night, when the sky was clear and the stars twinkled far above, Prometheus ascended to Olympus. He was stealthy, careful, moving through the heavens as silent as a shadow. In his hands, he held a hollow reed. And with a quick, daring move, he stole a small spark from the sacred hearth of the gods. It was a tiny flame, but it burned with the power of life itself. This was no ordinary fire, it was the fire of knowledge, creation, and survival. Prometheus descended from the heights of Olympus, his heart pounding. He knew that what he was about to do would change everything. When he reached the earth, he approached the shivering, desperate humans. They looked up at him with wide, fearful eyes. They didn't know who he was or what he carried, but they could sense something extraordinary. Without a word, Prometheus handed them the flame. The moment they touched it, warmth spread through their hands, their bodies, their hearts. It was more than just heat, it was hope. For the first time, they had the power to chase away the darkness. They could cook food, warm their homes, and protect themselves from the wild beasts that lurked in the shadows. Fire became their shield, their guide, their friend. With fire, humanity began to flourish. Villages sprang up, and people gathered around the flames to share stories, food, and warmth. They no longer feared the cold, for they had a piece of the gods within their reach. Fire was more than a tool, it was a symbol of their connection to the natural world. It was the bridge between them and the elements, a bond that reminded them that, though they were small, they were not powerless. They had been given a gift that made them stronger, and with it, they learned to respect the earth that provided for them. But Prometheus, though he had given them this gift, paid a terrible price. Zeus was enraged when he discovered what had been done. To him, this was not just an act of defiance, it was a betrayal. Prometheus had gone against the order of things, and for that, he would suffer. Zeus ordered that Prometheus be chained to a rock on a desolate mountain, far from the reach of any who might help him. And there, each day, an eagle, the symbol of Zeus' wrath, would descend upon Prometheus and tear at his flesh, devouring his liver. It was a pain that could only be described as endless, for each night, his body would heal, only for the torment to begin again the next day. Yet, even in his suffering, Prometheus did not regret his choice. The pain was unbearable, but he held on to the thought of humans gathered around their fires, safe and warm. He knew that, because of his sacrifice, they would endure. And that gave him the strength to endure his own punishment. Prometheus wasn't just a titan, he was a hero. He defied the most powerful god not for glory or power, but out of love for humanity. His act of rebellion wasn't for himself, but for those who had nothing. In giving them fire, he gave them the ability to survive, to grow, to reach their potential. Fire became a symbol of humanity's resilience, their ability to push through the darkest of nights, to find warmth even when the world seemed cold and cruel. For the ancient Greeks, the story of Prometheus was a reminder that the power of nature, fire, in this case, was not something to be taken lightly. It was a gift, one that required respect and care. But it was also a sign that humanity, though small in the grand scheme of things, had the capacity to shape their own fate. Prometheus' fire wasn't just a flame, it was a spark of potential, a light that allowed humans to step out of the darkness and create their own path forward. And so, even as Prometheus suffered, bound to that lonely rock, his heart swelled with a quiet, enduring pride. He had given the world something precious, something that would outlast him. Fire would burn in the hearts of men and women long after his chains had rusted away, a symbol of courage, defiance, and the unbreakable bond between humanity and the natural world. In the beginning, before gods and men, there was Gaia, the earth herself. She wasn't just soil and stone, she was life, warmth, and the heart of all existence. Every breath of wind, every drop of rain, every root that dug into the ground was a part of her, alive and pulsing with energy. She was more than a mother, she was the protector of everything that moved, grew, and thrived in the world. The sky stretched above her, vast and endless, but it was Gaia who held the foundation of all life. But Gaia couldn't maintain the balance of the earth alone. The world was vast, and the forces that threatened its harmony were powerful. So, she brought forth the Titans, giant beings with the strength of mountains and the will of nature itself coursing through their veins. These Titans weren't just mighty in size, they were connected to the very essence of the world around them. Each one played a vital role in preserving the delicate balance of nature, ensuring that the forces of chaos did not tear the earth apart. There was Oceanus, the Titan of the vast, untamed sea. He wasn't just a ruler of the waves, he was the sea. The tides moved because of him, the currents carried life and swept away the old because of his influence. The salty embrace of the ocean, full of mystery and danger, was his domain. Without Oceanus, the waters would become still, lifeless, choking the earth. The rivers that fed the land would dry up, leaving the soil cracked and barren. But Oceanus made sure that life continued to flow, from the smallest stream to the greatest ocean. Then there was Hyperion, the Titan who held the light of the sky. The sun rose and set with his guidance, providing the warmth that allowed plants to grow and thrive. He was the brilliance of the dawn and the soft glow of twilight. Hyperion's light was a blessing, nurturing the earth, allowing it to flourish under his careful watch. Without him, the world would be plunged into eternal night, cold and desolate. His light was the life force that intertwined with the earth, creating a bond between sky and ground that could never be broken. And there was Themis, the Titaness of divine order. She was the one who ensured that everything followed the natural law. Seasons came and went under her watch, the cycles of birth, growth, and decay moved in harmony. She wasn't just enforcing rules, she was protecting the rhythm of nature itself. Without her, chaos would reign, and the world would fall into disorder. Life would become unpredictable, unstable. The crops would no longer grow in their time, the animals would lose their way, and the earth would wither. Themis was the quiet force that kept everything moving as it should, her presence felt in every sunrise, every blooming flower, every heartbeat of the world. But even with all of these protectors, it was Gaia who was the center, the soul of it all. She was more than just the earth beneath our feet, she was every living thing. Every tree, every animal, every gust of wind, every mountain that towered over the plains, they were all a part of her. Gaia's love for her creations was deep, fierce, and protective. She felt every shift in the soil, every tremor in the air. And when the forces of destruction rose, she was the first to respond. In the early days, the Titans ruled alongside Gaia, keeping the earth in balance. But even they could not stop the rise of conflict. When the gods, led by Zeus, rose up against the Titans, the earth trembled. The clash of power shook the mountains, and the skies darkened with the fury of battle. Gaia's heart ached as her children, the Titans, were overthrown, chained, and cast aside. The earth that had once been so full of peace and harmony was now torn apart by war. But even in defeat, the Titans' presence lingered. The earth had been shaped by their hands, and their power was woven into the fabric of nature. Oceanus's waves still crashed upon the shores, Hyperion's sun still rose and set, and Themis's law of order still guided the seasons. Gaia, though heartbroken, continued to nurture life, her strength flowing through the roots of every tree, the wings of every bird, and the breath of every creature. Gaia's connection to the Titans was more than a family bond, it was a connection to life itself. She had given birth to the protectors of the earth, and through them, she ensured that nature would always find a way to thrive. Even when storms raged and fires consumed, Gaia would heal. Life would push through cracks in the stone, rivers would carve new paths, and forests would rise from the ashes. Nature, with Gaia at its heart, was resilient, unyielding. She could be gentle and nurturing, but also fierce and unrelenting when needed. The story of the Titans and Gaia isn't just about gods and power, it's about the deep, unbreakable bond between the earth and those who protect it. The Titans were more than beings of strength, they were the caretakers of the world, connected to the very soul of nature. They understood that their purpose wasn't just to rule, but to safeguard. Each action they took, every storm they unleashed, every ray of sunlight they provided, was done with the understanding that they were part of something far greater than themselves. And Gaia, the mother of all, watched over them with love and pride. She felt their presence in every corner of the earth, their power still flowing through the natural world. Though they were no longer ruling, their legacy was eternal. The earth remained a testament to their strength, and Gaia, in her quiet, enduring way, continued to guide life forward. Even when mountains crumbled and seas roared, her spirit never wavered, for she knew that nature could never be truly defeated. Through her, the world would always find a way to heal, to grow, to live. In the heart of the Norse cosmos stood Yggdrasil, the great world tree. Its roots reached deep into the underworld, and its branches stretched across the heavens, connecting all of existence. Yggdrasil wasn't just a tree, it was life itself. Every being, every world, every force of nature was tied to it. The wind that whispered through its leaves was the same wind that moved across the seas, the rain that touched its bark fell across all the lands, and the life that pulsed within it flowed through every living creature. To touch Yggdrasil was to touch the very core of creation. But with such a monumental force of life came a burden, the need for protection. Yggdrasil was constantly under threat, from decay, from chaos, and from the forces that would see the balance of the cosmos shattered. It wasn't just a passive force, it was alive, and like all living things, it needed guardians to ensure its survival. Those guardians, chosen by fate or born from necessity, stood vigilant around the tree, each playing a crucial role in protecting the very fabric of existence. One such guardian was the eagle that perched at the top of Yggdrasil's highest branches. Its wings spanned the sky, and its sharp eyes watched over the worlds below. The eagle wasn't just a symbol of power, it was a force of vigilance. From its perch, it could see everything, its gaze piercing through the realms of gods, men, and giants alike. It saw the shifts in the wind, the movements of armies, the whispering plans of gods. Nothing escaped its attention. The eagle's role was not just to guard but to foresee danger before it could reach Yggdrasil. It was the tree's first line of defense, ever watchful, ever alert. But the eagle was not alone in its watch. Beneath Yggdrasil, at its roots, gnawed a great serpent, NHGGR. This beast sought to undo the very foundation of the tree, hoping to weaken it from below. The serpent's presence was a constant reminder that Yggdrasil's existence was always at risk. Every bite it took was a challenge to the tree's strength, a slow attempt to bring down what stood above. And yet, despite the serpent's relentless efforts, Yggdrasil endured. For though NHGGR tried to tear at the roots, other protectors stood in defense of the tree's life force. Among those protectors were the Norns, the weavers of fate, who lived at the well beneath Yggdrasil. They were not warriors, but their power was perhaps greater than any weapon. The Norns tended to the tree, nurturing its roots, ensuring that its strength never faltered. They drew water from the well of Urd, mixing it with the soil at Yggdrasil's base, giving life back to the tree each time NHGGR's fangs tore at it. These three sisters, wise beyond measure, understood that Yggdrasil was more than a tree, it was the destiny of all things. As they wove the threads of fate, they ensured that the balance of life, death, and rebirth continued, and that Yggdrasil stood strong against all that threatened it. But Yggdrasil's protectors were not limited to beings of great power or cosmic significance. Even the humble squirrel, Ratatoskr, played a vital role. Ratatoskr scurried up and down the tree, carrying messages between the eagle at the top and NHGGR at the roots. Though it seemed small and insignificant, the squirrel's actions were a reminder that even the smallest creature had a part to play in the grand design of the cosmos. Ratatoskr's presence was a symbol of connection, of communication, ensuring that Yggdrasil's guardians remained aware of each other's actions and threats. And then, there were the gods themselves, for even they revered Yggdrasil. Odin, the All-Father, had hung himself from its branches for 9 nights, sacrificing himself to gain wisdom. Yggdrasil was more than just a source of life, it was a source of knowledge. From it, Odin learned the secrets of the runes, the very symbols of power that shaped the world. His sacrifice bound him to the tree, and through him, Yggdrasil's influence spread to the gods and the realms they ruled. Thor, the god of thunder, also knew the importance of Yggdrasil. With his hammer, Mjolnir, he defended the worlds that the tree connected. His strength, his unyielding will, were forces that kept chaos at bay, ensuring that the balance Yggdrasil provided was maintained. The tree, in turn, fed his strength, its roots grounding him in the natural world, its branches reaching out to the heavens where he fought the giants and the creatures that sought to bring ruin. But perhaps the most poignant protector of Yggdrasil was the tree itself. Despite the constant threats, the gnawing at its roots, the winds that battered its branches, Yggdrasil stood firm. Its resilience was a testament to the strength of nature, to the power of life to endure even in the face of destruction. Yggdrasil's very existence was a reminder that, though the forces of chaos and decay would always be present, life would always find a way to persevere. The importance of Yggdrasil in Norse mythology goes beyond its physical presence. It is the very foundation of life, the thread that ties all things together. Without it, the worlds would fall into disarray, and the balance that holds everything in place would crumble. Yggdrasil's guardians, from the mighty eagle to the Norns to the humble squirrel, understand this truth. They stand not for themselves, but for the survival of everything that exists. Their actions, their sacrifices, are woven into the very fabric of life, their dedication ensuring that Yggdrasil continues to stand tall, its roots deep, its branches wide. And so, Yggdrasil remains a symbol of endurance, of life's ability to withstand even the greatest threats. Its guardians are a testament to the idea that protection comes in many forms: strength, wisdom, vigilance, and even the quiet persistence of nature itself. Through them, Yggdrasil thrives, and with it, the world is kept in balance, alive and breathing, for as long as its protectors stand guard. In the beginning, there was nothing but darkness, a vast, empty void where silence stretched for eternity. From this emptiness, Pengu emerged, a giant unlike any the world had ever known. In his hands, he held the cosmic egg, containing the chaos of the universe. With a mighty swing of his axe, he split the egg in two, dividing the yin from the yang. The lighter, purer elements rose to form the sky, while the heavier, denser matter sank to create the earth. And from this moment, the world began to take shape. But creation came with a price. Pengu knew the sky and earth would not remain apart unless he held them. So, with his immense strength, he stood between them, his feet firmly planted on the ground and his head pressing against the heavens. For 18,000 years, he stood tall, never wavering, growing taller with each passing day to keep the sky from falling. His body became the pillar that supported the world, the force that ensured the separation between the heavens and the earth remained intact. As Pengu's task continued, his connection to the earth deepened. He could feel the breath of the winds, the pulse of the rivers, and the warmth of the sun. The world around him was alive, and it was because of his strength, his sacrifice, that it thrived. But as the years wore on, Pengu grew weary. The weight of the sky pressed down on him, his once invincible body feeling the strain of his duty. Yet, he did not falter. Even as the energy drained from him, he continued to stand, his arms outstretched, holding the balance of creation in place. Then, one day, the moment came when Pengu could no longer endure. His mighty body, which had once seemed unbreakable, began to give way. But Pengu knew that his work was not done. Even in death, he would give the last of himself to the world he had shaped. With his final breath, his body transformed, becoming one with the earth he had worked so tirelessly to protect. His breath became the wind, the gentle breeze that rustled through the trees and carried the scent of the blooming flowers. His voice became the thunder, the roar that echoed through the mountains and skies, reminding all of his eternal presence. His eyes turned into the sun and the moon, lighting the day and night, giving warmth, guidance, and life to all living beings. His muscles and bones became the mountains and valleys, forming the landscape that spread across the earth. His blood flowed into the rivers and seas, the lifeblood of the planet, nourishing the land and its creatures. His very flesh became the soil, rich and fertile, giving rise to the forests, the grasslands, and the crops that sustained life. Even the smallest parts of Pengu did not go to waste. His hair became the trees and plants, reaching up toward the sky he had once held. His sweat became the rain, falling gently upon the earth, nourishing all that grew. His teeth, his nails, even his bones transformed into the precious stones and metals hidden deep within the ground. Pengu's sacrifice was complete. He had given every part of himself to the world, ensuring its survival long after his own life had ended. He didn't just create the earth and sky, he became the earth and sky. Every mountain, every river, every gust of wind carried a piece of him within it. He was not just the creator, he was the very essence of the world itself. His transformation wasn't just physical. Pengu's spirit became one with nature, an eternal force that lived on in every element of the natural world. The sky he once held was now kept in place by his strength, the earth he had shaped was now formed from his very body. His presence was everywhere, in the clouds that floated above, in the rivers that flowed across the land, and in the mountains that reached toward the heavens. Even though Pengu was gone, he was never truly absent. Every time the wind whispered through the trees, it carried his breath. Every time the sun rose in the sky, it was his eye shining down on the world. Every storm, every rainfall, every gust of wind was a reminder that Pengu's sacrifice was not forgotten. His love for the world he created lived on in every corner of nature, an everlasting testament to his devotion. The people who lived in the world that Pengu had given life to never forgot his story. They looked to the mountains and saw his strength, they felt the wind and heard his breath. Pengu had not just given them a place to live, he had given them himself, in every sense. And though they could not see him, they knew he was there, watching over them through the natural forces that surrounded them. Pengu's tale is one of ultimate sacrifice, of a being who gave everything he had so that life could flourish. His actions remind us that creation is not without cost, and that true strength comes from giving, from selflessness, from love for the world. The earth, the sky, the rivers, and the mountains, all are a part of him, and through them, he lives on. His spirit continues to guide and protect, offering shelter in the trees, nourishment in the waters, and warmth in the light of the sun. In every element of the natural world, Pangu remains a silent guardian, a force of nature, an eternal reminder that creation is an act of love, and that love, once given, can never truly fade. When you walk through the quiet forests, feeling the cool earth beneath your feet, and hear the soft rustling of leaves overhead, you might sense an ancient presence watching over it all. Hidden within the trees, whispered through the wind, there is a figure, silent yet powerful. He is the Green Man, a symbol of life itself, of growth and the endless renewal of nature. The Green Man has no single face. His form shifts and changes, just like the plants and forests that he represents. Sometimes, he is seen in carvings with a face made entirely of leaves, his eyes peeking out from the foliage, as if he is part of the very trees that surround him. Other times, he emerges in the patterns of vines, branches, or even moss growing on ancient stones. Yet, no matter how he appears, he is always there, an unshakable symbol of nature's ability to grow back, to heal, and to be reborn. In the heart of every leaf, every blade of grass, and every creeping vine, the Green Man lives. He embodies the cycle of life and death, the fading and flourishing of the natural world. When the autumn comes, and the leaves fall to the ground, it is not an ending but a promise of return. For just as the Green Man fades with the cold breath of winter, he rises again when spring touches the earth. His spirit pulses through every flower that blooms, every tree that stands tall after a long winter, every seed that sprouts anew. His story is not one of grand battles or fiery gods, but one of quiet, steady resilience. The Green Man doesn't demand attention or praise. Instead, he works silently, behind the scenes, guiding the endless cycle of growth and decay, death and rebirth. His power is not in destruction or domination, but in nurturing life, in the slow, patient process of creation. Imagine the forest in early spring. The cold grip of winter has finally loosened, and the first buds are beginning to push through the frost-bitten soil. The Green Man is there, in every delicate sprout that dares to rise toward the sun, and the soft green shoots that climb toward the light. As the days grow longer, his presence becomes more visible, the woods bursting into life, filled with the vibrant energy of new growth. He is the pulse beneath it all, the force that drives every plant to bloom and every tree to unfurl its leaves once again. Yet, the Green Man is not just about the bright, beautiful days of spring. He is also there in the quiet, fading moments of autumn, when the leaves turn golden and red, and the forest prepares for its long sleep. In the falling of the leaves, there is no sadness, for the Green Man knows that they will return. The same trees that shed their leaves will stand tall once more, ready to begin the cycle anew. And so, with each ending, there is always a new beginning. Life, in all its forms, continues. He is not just a figure of regeneration in the literal sense, but a symbol of resilience. When the world feels heavy, when everything seems to wither and fade, the Green Man reminds us that nothing truly dies forever. Life finds a way. In the darkest times, when the cold seems endless, there is always the promise of spring. There is always the quiet assurance that the earth will heal, that life will rise again. The Green Man is also deeply tied to the balance of nature. He thrives in harmony, in the delicate dance between life and death, growth and decay. When one tree falls, it makes way for others to rise. When a plant withers, its seeds scatter, bringing new life in its place. Every part of the cycle is necessary, and the Green Man ensures that balance is maintained. There is something profoundly comforting in the presence of the Green Man. He teaches that no matter how hard the winters of life may seem, there is always a spring waiting to bloom. Just as the trees lose their leaves but return stronger with each new season, we too can endure, grow, and renew ourselves. The Green Man lives in the seasons, in the turning of the earth, and in the way nature constantly finds ways to regenerate, even in the harshest of conditions. Even in human life, we see the echoes of the Green Man's lessons. We face hardships, loss, and periods of darkness, But just like nature, we can regrow, heal, and find new strength. The cycles of life, birth, death, and rebirth are reflected in the natural world, and in this eternal rhythm, the Green Man is always present, offering hope and a quiet reminder of the unstoppable force of life. In the shadows of ancient stone carvings and the deep woods where few dare to tread, the Green Man watches over the world, a symbol of the connection between humanity and nature. He may be hidden, but he is never far. His presence is felt in every whisper of wind through the trees, every flower that blooms, and every seed that takes root. Though many may not see him, he is there, constant and unchanging, guiding the natural cycles that sustain all life. He reminds us that no matter how difficult the path, life endures. In the heart of every harsh winter and every blossoming spring, there's an ancient story that has shaped the way we understand the changing seasons. It's a story of love, loss, and an unbreakable bond between a mother and her daughter. It's the story of Demeter and Persephone. Demeter, the goddess of the harvest, had a love for her daughter, Persephone, that was deeper than the earth itself. Persephone was her joy, her light, and her reason to breathe. Every moment with her was filled with warmth, as if the sun itself had blessed their bond. Under Demeter's care, the earth flourished. Fields of wheat grew golden and tall, flowers burst into bloom, and the fruits of the land were bountiful. Life thrived because Demeter was content, her heart full with the love of her daughter. But one day, that love was shattered. Hades, god of the underworld, saw Persephone's beauty and grace. In his dark, cold world, where the souls of the dead wandered, he longed for something bright. And so, in a single, terrible moment, Hades took Persephone, dragging her down into the underworld to be his queen. Demeter's world was torn apart. The moment she realized her daughter was gone, everything changed. Her cries of anguish echoed across the heavens and the earth, shaking the very core of nature. The warmth of the sun seemed to fade, and the earth felt the weight of her sorrow. Grief like hers couldn't be contained. It spilled into the land, and as Demeter wept, the world began to wither. Crops failed to grow. Flowers lost their vibrant colors. The once lush, green fields turned barren. The world was plunged into a cold, lifeless state. Without Persephone, Demeter could not find it in her heart to nurture the earth. Every blade of grass, every tree, every piece of life seemed to remind her of the daughter who had been stolen from her. The seasons halted, and an endless winter gripped the world. But the story doesn't end with endless sorrow. Persephone, trapped in the underworld, longed for her mother just as much. Though she was the queen of the dead, her heart still beat with the rhythm of life. Every day she spent in the shadows of the underworld, she dreamed of the light above, of the touch of her mother's hand, and of the warmth of the earth. In her desperation, Demeter sought out Zeus, the king of the gods, pleading with him to bring her daughter back. Zeus, knowing that the world could not survive without Demeter's care, struck a deal with Hades. Persephone would be allowed to return to her mother for part of the year, but because she had eaten the seeds of a pomegranate in the underworld, she was bound to return to Hades for a portion of each year. When Persephone was returned to Demeter, the earth seemed to breathe again. Demeter's joy was immeasurable. The cold, dark grip of winter was lifted, and the land burst back into life. Flowers bloomed with colors more vibrant than ever, crops grew tall and strong, and the sun shone warmly on the world. It was spring, a season of rebirth and renewal, brought forth by the reunion of mother and daughter. Yet, their time together was always fleeting. As the months passed and Persephone's return to the underworld drew near, Demeter's heart began to ache once more. And when her daughter descended back into Hades' realm, the grief would return, casting the world into the cold, quiet of winter. The earth would fall asleep, waiting for the day when Persephone would come back and the cycle would begin again. This cycle of loss and reunion became the very essence of the changing seasons. Spring, with all its life and beauty, represented the joy of Demeter and Persephone's reunion. Summer, full of warmth and abundance, was the height of their happiness together. But as autumn approached, the signs of Demeter's sorrow began to show. The leaves would turn shades of gold and red, falling gently to the ground, as if the world itself was weeping in preparation for the long, cold months ahead. And winter, with its frozen landscapes and lifeless trees, was a reflection of Demeter's deep mourning, waiting for the return of her beloved daughter. This story of Demeter and Persephone isn't just about gods and myths, it's about the very heartbeat of the earth itself. It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, when everything seems cold and lifeless, there is always the promise of renewal. Just as Demeter waits for Persephone's return, the earth waits for spring, for the warmth and life that follows even the harshest winters. Their bond, their love, and their pain are woven into the fabric of nature. The changing seasons mirror their story, a never-ending cycle of grief, love, and hope. It's a reminder that life, like nature, has its seasons. There are times of abundance and times of loss, but nothing is permanent. Just as winter gives way to spring, sorrow gives way to joy. The earth heals, life returns, and the cycle continues. Every time we see the first buds of spring or feel the warmth of the sun after a long, cold winter, we are witnessing the reunion of Demeter and Persephone. Their story lives on in the world around us, and every leaf that falls and every flower that blooms. And through it all, we are reminded that even in the darkest moments, there is always hope for renewal, for life to flourish once more. Maui was no ordinary figure in Polynesian mythology. He was a demigod, but more than that, he was a hero who touched the hearts of his people, a figure whose deeds shaped not just the land, but the very way people connected with nature. His story isn't just about power, it's about determination, cleverness, and a deep relationship with the world around him. Maui wasn't born into greatness. He was the youngest of his brothers, often underestimated and overlooked. Yet, he had something special. He was curious and daring, willing to push the limits of what was possible. His heart burned with the desire to make a difference, to do things no one else could. One of his most well-known feats was when he sought to slow down the sun. It wasn't for glory or fame, but because the days were too short. His people barely had enough sunlight to work the fields, fish in the sea, or live their lives. The relentless speed of the sun was causing hardship, and Maui couldn't stand by and watch. So, with nothing more than his wits and courage, he set out to catch the sun. He climbed to the highest peak, ropes braided from his sister's hair in hand, and waited. As the first rays of light pierced the sky, Maui cast his ropes, catching the sun by its fiery legs. The struggle between Maui and the blazing orb was fierce. The heat was unbearable, but Maui held on, refusing to let go. His skin burned, his muscles ached, but he fought with every ounce of strength. Finally, the sun surrendered, agreeing to slow its journey across the sky. From that day, the days became longer, giving his people the light they needed. Maui had conquered the sun. But that wasn't the only time Maui showed his connection to the forces of nature. His relationship with the ocean was just as profound. The sea wasn't just a vast, untamable force to Maui, it was his ally, a partner in his incredible feats. Perhaps the most remarkable of all was when he fished up entire islands from the depths of the ocean. Armed with a magical fishhook, one that carried the strength of the gods, Maui set out on a humble canoe with his brothers. They were skeptical, laughing at his bold claims that he could pull up land itself from beneath the waters. But Maui was undeterred. He cast his line into the deep, whispering words of power, calling upon the sea to yield its treasures. For hours, nothing happened. The ocean remained still, as if mocking his efforts. Then, the water began to churn. The waves grew restless, and the tension on the line became unbearable. Maui's hands gripped the line, his body straining against the force of the ocean. He pulled with all his might, feeling the weight of something massive beneath the surface. His brothers, once filled with doubt, now watched in awe as land began to rise from the depths. With each pull, an island emerged, a piece of the earth itself breaking free from the ocean's grip. Maui didn't just pull up one island, he pulled up many, giving his people new homes, new lands to explore and thrive upon. But it wasn't just the land or the sea that Maui had mastery over. His deeds touched the very essence of nature itself. He was said to have brought fire to the world, much like Prometheus in Greek mythology, but his method was unique. Maui went to Mawika, the goddess of fire, and after a series of clever tricks, he managed to steal the fire from her fingertips. He brought it back to the people, teaching them how to keep it alive, how to use it to cook, to warm themselves, to create light in the darkest of nights. Maui's relationship with nature wasn't just about control or power, it was about balance. He didn't bend the forces of nature to his will out of selfishness. Every action, every feat, was driven by his desire to help, to provide for his people, to bring harmony between the land, the sea, and the sky. He understood that nature was not something to be dominated, but something to be respected, something to work alongside. His relationship with the ocean, in particular, was one of mutual respect. While he could control the waves and fish up islands, he never took the sea for granted. The ocean was alive to Maui, a force that had to be treated with reverence. And in return, the sea gave him its treasures, its hidden wonders. Maui's deeds live on in the hearts of the Polynesian people, a symbol of resilience, cleverness, and the unbreakable bond between humanity and the natural world. His feats weren't just acts of strength or magic, they were acts of love. Love for the land, love for the sea, and love for the people who depended on both. Through his story, we are reminded that nature is both powerful and fragile. It can provide, protect, and nurture, but it also demands respect and care. Maui understood that balance, and through his actions, he taught his people to live in harmony with the world around them. Maui's legend is one of hope. It shows us that even when the odds seem insurmountable, when the sun burns too hot or the land seems out of reach, there is always a way. Sometimes it takes a clever mind, sometimes it takes strength, but more than anything, it takes heart. Maui had the heart of a hero, not just because of his deeds, but because of the love that fueled them. And that's why his story continues to inspire, reminding us that we, too, are a part of the natural world, and like Maui, we have the power to shape it with care and respect. Pachamama, the Andean Earth Mother, was more than just a goddess to the people of the Andes. She was the very soul of the land, the breath of the wind, and the heart that pulsed beneath every mountain and valley. Her presence was felt in every seed that sprouted, every drop of rain that kissed the earth, and every harvest that filled their tables. To the Incas, she was life itself, the giver and protector of everything they held dear. For the farmers working the rugged, steep terraces high in the Andes, Pachamama was not just a distant figure in the clouds. She was as real as the soil beneath their feet, guiding their hands as they planted crops, her spirit intertwined with every grain of corn and every potato they placed in the earth. It was said that without Pachamama, the land would wither, the rains would stop, and life itself would fall into disarray. Her nurturing embrace held the world together, and her care for the land was mirrored in the care the people gave to her in return. The Incas understood the delicate balance between humanity and nature. They knew that the earth could be both generous and harsh, and it was Pachamama who kept the balance. When the sun was too strong, threatening to scorch the crops, it was her gentle whisper to the winds that brought relief. When the rains were too fierce, causing floods that washed away the precious soil, she was the one who calmed the storms, ensuring that life could flourish once more. But Pachamama's love for the earth wasn't passive. She was fierce in her protection of the land and her people. The Andean people believed that disrespecting the earth, taking too much without giving back, or harming the delicate ecosystems would bring Pachamama's wrath. Her anger was not to be taken lightly. Earthquakes, landslides, and droughts were seen as warnings from her, reminders that the earth must be respected, nurtured, and cared for. And yet, even in her anger, there was love, a reminder to protect the land, not just for the present but for the generations to come. She wasn't just a goddess of the land, she was the land itself. Her body was the mountains, her breath the wind, her tears the rivers. Every aspect of nature was connected to her. The towering peaks that stretched into the sky were seen as her shoulders, the vast plains as her open arms, embracing the people who lived upon her. The people knew that they were part of something much greater, that their lives were woven into the fabric of nature itself, and that fabric was Pachamama. In the highlands, where life was often hard, Pachamama's presence brought comfort. The people would offer her coca leaves, chicha, a traditional fermented drink, and small portions of their harvest in gratitude. It wasn't just ritual, it was a heartfelt exchange, a way of saying thank you for the gifts of the earth, for the food that sustained them, for the rain and the sun that made life possible. Her role as the nurturer of crops wasn't just about growing food, it was about survival, about the deep connection between humans and the earth. Every seed planted in the ground was a prayer to Pachamama, a hope that she would bless the land with abundance. And when the crops grew tall and strong, it was a sign that she had heard their prayers, that she had embraced their efforts with her eternal love. But Pachamama's care wasn't limited to the crops. She protected all life, animals, rivers, mountains, and even the people themselves. The Incas believed that when they respected and cared for the earth, Pachamama would in turn protect them, guiding them through hardships and ensuring that they lived in harmony with nature. She was a constant presence in their lives, a reminder that they were never alone, that the earth itself was watching over them, cradling them in her arms. Her influence extended beyond the physical world. Pachamama was also the protector of the people's souls. The Incas believed that when they passed away, their spirits returned to her, becoming one with the earth, the mountains, and the skies. In this way, Pachamama wasn't just a goddess of the living but also of the dead, a mother who watched over her children even after they had left this world. The connection between Pachamama and the people of the Andes was one of mutual respect, love, and understanding. They saw her not just as a deity to be worshipped but as a partner in the dance of life, a being whose well-being was tied to their own. Every action they took on the land, whether planting a field, building a home, or offering a prayer, was done with the awareness that Pachamama was watching, guiding, and caring for them. To this day, her legacy lives on. Even in modern times, the people of the Andes continue to honor Pachamama, recognizing her as the eternal mother of the earth. Her spirit can still be felt in the mountains, in the fields, and in the hearts of those who live in harmony with the land. She remains a symbol of life, of nature's endless cycles of growth, decay, and rebirth. And just as she did centuries ago, Pachamama continues to remind us all of the deep, unbreakable bond between humanity and the earth, the bond that sustains us, nourishes us, and, in the end, brings us back to the soil from which we came. Pachamama's story is a reminder that the earth is not just a resource to be used, but a living, breathing entity that deserves care and respect. She shows us that we are not separate from nature but a part of it, connected to the land, the sky, and each other in ways that are profound and eternal. Through her, we learn that to care for the earth is to care for ourselves, and that in protecting nature, we are also protecting the very essence of life. The Thunderbird is a figure that stirs awe and reverence among many Native American tribes. In the heart of stormy skies, where thunder roars and lightning cracks, the Thunderbird soars with a majestic power that commands respect. This immense, powerful bird is not just a creature of myth, but a vital force in the balance between humans and the natural world. As the clouds gather and darken, the arrival of the Thunderbird is imminent. Its massive wings beat with the force of thunder, shaking the very heavens. Each flap of its wings sends ripples across the sky, stirring the storm clouds and causing the air to crackle with electric energy. The roar of its call is the thunder that echoes across the landscape, a sound that can be both terrifying and awe-inspiring. To those who witness it, the Thunderbird represents nature's raw, unbridled power, a force that cannot be tamed, only respected. The Thunderbird's control over storms is more than a display of sheer might. It is a reminder of the delicate balance that exists between humanity and nature. The Thunderbird governs the weather, ensuring that storms are a natural and necessary part of the cycle of life. Without its storms, the earth would not receive the rain needed to nourish the land. Yet, its power also serves as a warning. When people disrupt the natural order, when they show disregard for the land, the Thunderbird storms can become fierce and unrelenting, a sign of nature's displeasure. In Native American lore, the Thunderbird is a guardian of balance. Its presence in the skies is a reminder that human actions have consequences. When the land is treated with respect, when the people live in harmony with nature, the Thunderbird storms are less severe. The rain that follows is gentle and nourishing, promoting growth and abundance. But when the balance is disturbed, when greed or carelessness threatens the earth, the Thunderbird storms become a powerful force of retribution. teaching a lesson about the importance of maintaining respect for the environment. The stories of the Thunderbird are woven into the fabric of many Native American cultures. Among some tribes, it is believed that the Thunderbird has the ability to control the winds and the waters. Its powerful talons are said to be able to stir the oceans, creating waves and storms. Its sharp eyes watch over the land, ensuring that the balance between human activity and nature is kept in check. This vigilance is not just about punishment but about maintaining harmony. The Thunderbird's storms are a natural part of the cycle, helping to cleanse the earth and restore its vitality. The Thunderbird is also seen as a protector. In times of drought or disaster, when the earth seems to be suffering, the appearance of the Thunderbird is a hopeful sign. It is said that its presence can bring rain and relief, restoring balance and bringing new life to the parched land. The Thunderbird's role is not just to punish but to guide and heal, reminding people of their responsibility to care for the earth and live in harmony with it. The connection between the Thunderbird and the natural world is profound. It is not merely a creature of legend but a symbol of the powerful forces that shape the environment. Its storms remind people of the power of nature and the need to live in respect and balance. The Thunderbird's role in maintaining this balance is crucial. It serves as a living embodiment of the forces of nature, a reminder that while humans have power, it is the natural world that ultimately governs the cycles of life. In many stories, the Thunderbird is also depicted as a noble and wise being. It is often seen as a teacher, imparting lessons about respect, balance, and the interconnectedness of all life. Through its storms, the Thunderbird teaches that nature is a living entity with its own rhythms and patterns. It shows that while humans may seek to control the environment, it is ultimately the forces of nature that hold sway, and that respecting these forces is essential for survival and prosperity. The Thunderbird's legacy lives on in the traditions and stories of Native American tribes. Its image is often used as a symbol of strength, power, and protection. The stories of the Thunderbird are passed down through generations, a way of honoring the natural world and the delicate balance that sustains life. Its presence in the sky continues to inspire awe and respect, reminding people of the powerful forces that shape their world and the importance of living in harmony with nature. To see the Thunderbird storm approach is to witness nature's incredible power and majesty. It is a reminder of the profound connection between humanity and the environment, and of the need to maintain balance and respect. The Thunderbird's role in controlling the storms and protecting the land is a powerful testament to the ancient understanding of nature's cycles and the ongoing relationship between people and the earth. Through its storms, the Thunderbird continues to teach, protect, and remind us of the deep and enduring bond we share with the natural world. In the rugged lands of ancient Ireland, where legends come to life through the whisper of the wind and the rustle of the trees, Cuchulainn stands as a symbol of fierce bravery and unwavering loyalty. His story is one of awe-inspiring courage, and his connection to the land and nature reveals a hero deeply intertwined with the very essence of the earth he vowed to protect. The tale begins in the heart of Ulster, a land renowned for its beauty and its fierce inhabitants. Ulster, with its rolling hills, dense forests, and winding rivers, was not just a place of beauty but also a land fraught with danger. It was here that Cuchulainn, a warrior of almost mythical prowess, rose to become the land's greatest defender. His name, whispered in reverence by his people, was synonymous with courage and honor. When enemies threatened the borders of Ulster, Cuchulainn was the first to stand against them. His role as the land's protector was not just a duty but a calling that bound him to the very soil he defended. He fought with a passion that seemed to flow from the earth itself, his every action a testament to his deep bond with the land. In battles, where the clash of swords and the cries of warriors filled the air, Cuchulainn was a beacon of hope, his fierce presence a shield for his people. The way Cuchulainn defended Ulster was nothing short of legendary. He stood alone against armies, his courage never faltering. His connection to nature was evident in his every move. In the heat of battle, he seemed to draw strength from the land beneath his feet, as if the very earth was lending him its power. It was said that the spirits of the land watched over him, guiding his hand and steadying his resolve. This bond with nature made him not just a warrior, but a guardian of the land's integrity and peace. One of the most stirring aspects of Cuchulain's story is his deep connection to nature. His heroism was not merely a matter of physical strength, but also of spiritual connection. He was known to commune with the natural world, drawing upon its rhythms and energies to guide his actions. In the midst of battle, while others saw only chaos, Cuchulain saw a harmonious balance. His strikes were precise and his defenses unyielding, as if the land itself was guiding his every move. His bond with nature extended beyond the battlefield. Cuchulain was also known for his deep respect for the land's natural beauty. The forests and rivers of Ulster were not just backdrops to his heroics, but living entities that he cherished. He understood the rhythms of nature, the way the seasons changed, and how the land responded to the actions of its inhabitants. This connection was a source of strength and inspiration for him, reinforcing his resolve to protect his homeland. In stories told around the fireside, Cuchulain's deeds are recounted with a mixture of awe and reverence. One tale speaks of a time when the land itself seemed to rally to his side. As invaders approached, the very trees and rivers of Ulster appeared to come alive, aiding Cuchulain in his defense. The trees bent their branches to shield him, and the rivers seemed to swell, providing him with the strength to prevail. This mystical aid was seen as a sign of his deep connection to the land, a reminder that he was not fighting alone but with the full support of the natural world. The sacrifices Cuchulain made for Ulster were immense. His battles left him wounded, his body scarred, but his spirit remained unbroken. He fought not just for his people but for the land itself. His story is a reminder of the sacrifices that come with true heroism and the profound connection between a hero and the land they protect. Every battle he fought was a testament to his dedication, every victory a tribute to the land he cherished. Cuchulain's legend is more than just a tale of heroism, it is a story of a deep, symbiotic relationship between a warrior and the land he loved. His connection to nature was not merely a backdrop, but a fundamental part of his being. He was a guardian whose spirit was intertwined with the land, fighting not just for his people, but for the very essence of the earth itself. As the stories of Cuchulain are passed down through generations, they serve as a powerful reminder of the bond between humans and nature. His bravery, his respect for the land, and his unwavering dedication to protecting Ulster make his tale a timeless testament to the deep connection that can exist between a hero and the natural world. His legend lives on as a beacon of courage, a symbol of the enduring relationship between humanity and the earth. In the ancient Celtic lands, where the whispers of nature hold profound truths and the rivers sing timeless songs, the goddess Danu reigns supreme as the nurturing mother of rivers and life. Her story is a hymn to the power of water and the miracle of fertility, a tale that binds her eternally to the land she loves. Danu is not just a goddess, but a life-giving force whose presence is felt in every flowing river and fertile field. Her name echoes through the rolling hills and sparkling streams, a constant reminder of her deep connection to nature's life force. As the mother goddess of the Celts, she embodies the essence of the earth's vitality and the power of renewal. Her influence is both subtle and profound, shaping the very fabric of life and the natural world. The rivers, under Danu's watchful gaze, are more than mere bodies of water. They are sacred channels of her divine essence, flowing with the promise of life and sustenance. To the people who revered her, these rivers were not just physical landmarks but living entities, carrying Danu's blessings from the high mountains to the fertile valleys. The gentle current of a river was a symbol of her nurturing touch, guiding life's path with her grace and generosity. Danu's influence extends beyond the rivers, reaching into the heart of fertility itself. Her presence is felt in the lushness of the land, the bounty of harvests, and the thriving of all living things. To the ancient Celts, she was the embodiment of the earth's fertility, a divine force that made the soil rich and the crops plentiful. Her blessings were essential for a bountiful harvest and a thriving community. Without her, the land would be barren, and life would struggle to take root. Her connection to fertility was not just about physical abundance, but also about the cycle of life and renewal. Danu's influence ensures that the land remains vibrant and full of potential, that the seasons turn in their natural order, and that life continues to flourish. The rhythms of the earth, from the changing seasons to the growth of plants, are seen as manifestations of her divine presence. She ensures that every seed sown is nurtured, every sprout reaches towards the sun, and every harvest brings joy and sustenance. One of the most moving aspects of Danu's story is her role as a protector of life's delicate balance. Her rivers are not just sources of water, but are also symbols of her care and protection. They flow through the land, nourishing it and keeping it alive. The Celts believed that to honor Danu was to honor the natural world itself, to respect the rivers, the fields, and the cycles of nature that she so lovingly tended. In moments of drought or famine, it was said that the people would call out to Danu, pleading for her to restore the rivers and bring back the abundance they had once enjoyed. The connection between her and the land was so profound that any shift in nature's balance was seen as a sign of her discontent. To restore harmony, rituals and offerings were made to appease her and seek her favor. These acts were not just about ensuring a good harvest, but were a way of showing gratitude for the life-giving gift she provided. The goddess Danu represents a powerful reminder of the intricate bond between humanity and nature. Her story is a celebration of life's interconnectedness, of how water, fertility, and the earth's rhythms are all woven together. Her rivers flow with her spirit, and her influence ensures that life continues to thrive in all its forms. Through her, the ancient Celts understood that their existence was deeply tied to the health of the land, and they honored her as the source of all that is vibrant and living. In the quiet moments beside a flowing river or in the verdant fields of the countryside, the legacy of Danu continues to echo. Her presence is a testament to the power of nature's nurturing spirit, and her story serves as a touching reminder of the sacred bond between the goddess and the land she cherishes. Through the flowing waters and the fertile earth, Danu's essence remains a vital part of the world, nurturing life and ensuring that the cycle of growth and renewal continues unabated. The sky roared with fury, and the waves crashed with a vengeance. Amidst the tempest, one figure stood fearless and unyielding, the storm god Susanoo. In Japanese mythology, Susanoo is a deity of both chaos and protection, a powerful being who commands the storms and the seas with an awe-inspiring mastery. His story is a testament to the balance he brings to nature, a blend of fearsome power and unwavering bravery. Susanoo's connection to storms is not just about the display of raw force, but also about his role as a protector. The storms he commands can be as destructive as they are life-giving. Rainstorms bring essential water to the earth, while his tempests clear the skies and renew the land. His mastery over these elements is not a mere show of power, it is an expression of his duty to maintain the natural order. He channels the raw energy of storms to keep nature balanced, demonstrating both his strength and his responsibility. But it is not only the storms that define Susanoo's legend. The tale of his battle with the sea serpent Orochi reveals his role as a guardian of nature. Orochi, a monstrous serpent with 8 heads and 8 tails, was a terror of the land, bringing destruction and fear wherever it slithered. The serpent's reign of terror was so great that it threatened to unbalance the natural world. The once peaceful landscapes were scarred by its wrath, and the people lived in constant dread. Susanoo's confrontation with Orochi is a dramatic clash between good and evil, a battle that transcends mere physical combat. It is a struggle to protect the natural order from a force of chaos and destruction. When Susanoo heard of the serpent's reign of terror, he took it upon himself to end its menace. Armed with courage and divine strength, he faced the beast with unwavering resolve. The confrontation was fierce, with Orochi's many heads spewing poison and fire. Yet, Susanoo's bravery did not waver. The battle was not just a fight, it was a symbol of his commitment to safeguarding the land and its people. Each strike of his sword, each movement in the battle, was driven by his desire to restore balance to a world that had been thrown into disarray. When Susanoo finally defeated Orochi, the serpent's fall was not just the end of a monster, it was the restoration of peace and order to the natural world. The land healed, and the skies cleared, reflecting the balance that Susanoo had fought so hard to achieve. In the aftermath of the battle, Susanoo's victory was celebrated not just as a personal triumph, but as a restoration of harmony. The land, once terrorized by Orochi, began to thrive again. The rivers flowed with renewed vigor, and the crops grew tall and strong. Susanu's actions had not only protected the people but also nurtured the land, showing that his power over storms and seas was intertwined with his role as a guardian of nature. Susanu's legend serves as a powerful reminder of the delicate balance that exists between nature's forces and human existence. His ability to wield the storms and vanquish the serpent speaks to a deeper understanding of nature's duality, its capacity for both creation and destruction. Through his mastery, he ensures that the natural world remains in harmony, his actions reflecting a deep respect for the delicate balance of life. The storm god story is not just a tale of myth, but a reflection of the very real interplay between human efforts and natural forces. His battles and victories symbolize the eternal struggle to protect and preserve the world's natural beauty. Susanu's legacy is a powerful example of how courage and strength can be harnessed to maintain the delicate equilibrium of the earth, ensuring that both nature and its people can flourish in harmony. Susanu, with his mastery over the storms and seas, and his heroic battle with the sea serpent Orochi, embodies the essence of nature's protector. His story is a vivid reminder of the powerful impact that one being can have in shaping and safeguarding the natural world, balancing fearsome power with a nurturing spirit. In the heart of the ancient forests, where the air is thick with the scent of moss and the whisper of leaves, there exists a powerful guardian, Tane Mahuta. To the Maori people, Tane Mahuta is not just a deity, he is the very embodiment of the forest's life and spirit. His story is one of creation, protection, and the profound connection between humanity and nature. Tane Mahuta, the god of forests and birds, stands as a monumental figure in Maori mythology. His name resonates with the rustling of trees and the songs of the forest birds, for he is the creator of the trees that make up the vast and intricate forests. His creation is not just a backdrop to the world but a living, breathing entity that sustains and nurtures all forms of life. The story of Tane Mahuta begins with a divine act of creation. In the primordial darkness, when the world was still young and separated from the sky and the earth, Tane Mahuta, with great effort and divine strength, lifted the sky from the earth. This act not only set the stage for the world to flourish but also gave life to the forest. From his labor, the trees sprang forth, reaching up towards the heavens, their leaves dancing in the wind. These trees were not mere plants, they were the very essence of Tane Mahuta's spirit, infused with his divine energy. As the guardian of the forests, Tane Mahuta's role extends far beyond that of a mere creator. He is the keeper of the balance within these ancient woods, ensuring that every tree, every plant, and every creature thrives in harmony. His forests are alive with the flutter of wings and the rustle of leaves, a symphony of nature that he orchestrates with care. The birds that sing in the branches are his children, their songs a testament to his love and protection. Tane Mahuta's importance is not only in the creation but also in the maintenance of the natural world. His forests are a sanctuary, a place where the balance of life is preserved. Every leaf that falls, every bird that chirps, and every gust of wind that moves through the trees is a part of his divine design. The forests he guards are a living testament to his power, a reflection of his commitment to ensuring that the natural world remains in perfect equilibrium. The Maori people hold Tane Mahuta in profound reverence. To them, he is not a distant deity but an integral part of their daily lives. His forests provide shelter, food, and materials for their homes. The trees he created are more than just resources, they are sacred entities that connect the people to their ancestors and to the land itself. Each tree and bird carries the spirit of Tane Mahuta, a reminder of the divine presence that watches over the natural world. Tane Mahuta's influence is felt deeply, especially in times of environmental change. When the balance of the forest is threatened, whether by natural events or human actions, it is as if the heartbeat of the land falters. In such times, the Maori people turn to Tane Mahuta, seeking his guidance and protection. They perform rituals and ceremonies to honor him, hoping to restore the balance and heal the land. These acts of reverence are not just about seeking favor but about acknowledging the deep connection between their well-being and the health of the natural world. In the quiet moments of dawn, when the first light filters through the trees and the forest awakens, one can almost feel Tane Mahuta's presence. The gentle sway of the trees, the soft chirping of the birds, and the cool, fresh air all bear witness to his enduring guardianship. His love for the forest is palpable, a living force that nurtures and sustains all that lies within it. Tane Mahudah's story is a reminder of the sacred relationship between humanity and nature. His creation of the forests and his ongoing protection of them highlight the importance of respecting and cherishing the natural world. His presence is a powerful symbol of the divine force that maintains the balance of life, a guardian whose spirit is intertwined with the very fabric of the earth. In every rustling leaf and every chirping bird, Tane Mahudah's essence lives on, a testament to his enduring legacy. His role as the guardian of forests and creator of trees is not just a myth, but a living reality, a reminder of the profound connection between the divine and the natural world. Through his story, the Maori people celebrate the beauty and importance of the forests, honoring the god who stands as their eternal protector. In the heart of ancient Mesopotamia, a story unfolds that captures the timeless struggle between the untamed forces of nature and the orderly constructs of civilization. The tale of Gilgamesh and Enkidu is more than a myth. It is a powerful reflection of the delicate balance between humanity and the natural world, seen through the lens of an extraordinary friendship. Gilgamesh, the king of Uruk, is a figure of towering ambition and unparalleled strength. His reign is marked by grandiose projects and the relentless pursuit of glory. Yet, for all his achievements, he is haunted by a profound sense of emptiness, a feeling that despite his mighty accomplishments, something vital is missing from his life. This feeling drives him to seek out answers beyond the confines of his city, to explore the unknown and confront the limits of human existence. In the wilds beyond Uruk, Enkidu roams freely, a creature of the untamed earth. His life is a symphony of natural rhythms, a heartbeat synchronized with the ebb and flow of the wild. Enkidu is everything that Gilgamesh is not: wild, raw, and deeply connected to the land. His existence is a testament to the primal forces of nature, living in harmony with the creatures of the forest and the flow of the rivers. The meeting of Gilgamesh and Enkidu is nothing short of transformative. Initially, they are like two opposing forces, each representing a different aspect of existence. Gilgamesh, with his towering city walls and grand architecture, stands for human achievement and control. Enkidu, on the other hand, represents the raw power of nature, unbridled and free. Their clash is intense, a moment of primal struggle that echoes the eternal conflict between civilization and the wild. Yet, from this initial conflict arises a deep and profound friendship. Through their struggles and shared adventures, Gilgamesh and Enkidu discover a bond that transcends their differences. They embark on epic quests together, facing formidable foes and overcoming tremendous challenges. Their friendship becomes a bridge between their worlds, a testament to the possibility of harmony between humanity and nature. Enkidu's integration into the human world brings a new perspective to Gilgamesh's life. He learns to appreciate the simple, natural beauty that Enkidu embodies, finding solace and wisdom in the natural world that he had previously ignored. For Enkidu, the encounter with civilization teaches him about the complexities of human emotions and the value of companionship and purpose. Their adventures are marked by moments of triumph and sorrow, reflecting the broader theme of balance. When Enkidu dies, the grief that Gilgamesh experiences is profound. It is a heart-wrenching realization of the impermanence of life and the deep connection he had formed with Enkidu. This loss drives Gilgamesh into a quest for immortality, a journey that forces him to confront the limits of human existence and the ultimate acceptance of mortality. The tale of Gilgamesh and Enkidu is a powerful narrative about the struggle to find balance between the forces of nature and the advancements of civilization. It reflects the emotional depth of their friendship and the ways in which their bond bridges the gap between their worlds. Through their story, we see how the clash of different worlds can lead to mutual understanding and growth, highlighting the importance of recognizing and respecting the natural world while pursuing human achievements. The legacy of Gilgamesh and Enkidu endures as a timeless reminder of the delicate balance between humanity and nature. Their story resonates with anyone who has felt the tension between the wild and the civilized, the natural and the constructed. It is a tale that continues to inspire and touch the hearts of those who seek to understand the profound connection between the human spirit and the natural world. In the heart of the ancient world, where myths come to life and gods walk among mortals, Artemis stands as a beacon of wild beauty and fierce protection. As the goddess of the hunt and the guardian of the wilderness, Artemis embodies the spirit of nature's untamed majesty and the sacred balance between humanity and the wild. Artemis, the daughter of Zeus and Leto, is often depicted as a young, radiant figure, forever entwined with the natural world she fiercely defends. Her presence in the myths is both commanding and compassionate, reflecting her deep bond with the creatures of the forest and the untouched landscapes she protects. She roams through the dense woods, her bow ever at the ready, a symbol of her role as the protector of wild animals and the natural world. Her connection to the hunt is not merely about the thrill of the chase. For Artemis, hunting is a sacred act, one that connects her with the rhythms of nature and the cycles of life and death. She is not a huntress of destruction but a steward of balance. Her aim is true, her intentions clear, to maintain harmony between the wild and the human. Through her, the hunt becomes a dance of respect, a ritual that acknowledges the beauty and vitality of the creatures she pursues. Artemis' role as a protector is deeply intertwined with her sense of justice and her fierce loyalty to her domain. She is known to guard the sacred groves and untouched lands from those who would seek to exploit or harm them. Her wrath against those who desecrate her spaces is swift and unrelenting. She punishes those who encroach upon her domain with a ferocity that mirrors her love for the wilderness. This fierce protection extends not only to the physical spaces of nature but to the creatures who dwell within them. One of the most poignant stories about Artemis is her defense of a young woman named Callisto. Callisto, a devoted follower of Artemis, was turned into a bear by Zeus's jealousy. When Callisto's son, Arcas, unknowingly threatened to hunt her, Artemis intervened. Her intervention, though tragic, underscores her role as a protector who values the sanctity of all life, even when it means making difficult decisions. Through this story, Artemis's compassion and her struggle to preserve the delicate balance between the human and the divine come to the fore. Artemis also represents the resilience of nature. She is often shown in scenes of tranquility, surrounded by the serene beauty of the natural world she safeguards. In these moments, her presence evokes a deep sense of peace and harmony. She is the guardian of the untouched wilderness, the silent sentinel of the forest, ensuring that the wild remains wild and the animals remain free. The goddess's influence extends beyond mere protection. She symbolizes the enduring spirit of nature, a spirit that resists the encroachments of civilization and remains steadfast in its own sacred rhythm. Through Artemis, the natural world is not just a backdrop but a living, breathing entity worthy of reverence and care. Her role as the goddess of the hunt and the wilderness is a reminder of the delicate balance between humans and nature, a balance that must be maintained with respect and understanding. Artemis's legacy is one of fierce independence and unwavering dedication to the natural world. She teaches us about the importance of honoring and preserving the beauty and balance of nature. Through her stories, we feel the raw, unyielding power of the wild, and the deep, compassionate responsibility of those who stand as its protectors. Her presence in mythology is a testament to the enduring connection between humanity and the natural world, a connection that must be cherished and protected for generations to come. Thunder rumbles across the heavens, a fierce reminder of Thor's unyielding power and his sacred duty to guard the natural world. As the thunder god of Norse mythology, Thor is more than a deity of storms. He is the vigilant protector of the realms and the steadfast defender against the forces that threaten the delicate balance of nature. Thor, wielding his mighty hammer Mjolnir, is the embodiment of raw, untamed power. His presence in the mythic landscape is marked by a thunderous roar that echoes across the sky, a formidable force meant to shield both gods and humans from chaos. When storms rage and lightning splits the sky, it is Thor who wields the storm's fury, directing its wrath where it is needed to preserve order and protect the natural world. Thor's role in controlling storms is not merely an act of destruction but a demonstration of his deep connection to the rhythms of the earth. His storms are both a weapon and a safeguard. They drive away the giants and monsters that threaten to upend the natural order. Each lightning strike and clap of thunder is a reminder of Thor's tireless efforts to maintain balance in a world teetering on the brink of disorder. One of Thor's most celebrated battles is his fight against the Jotnar, the frost giants who seek to disrupt the balance of nature. These ancient beings represent the chaotic forces of ice and darkness, ever threatening to encroach upon the realms of gods and men. Thor's relentless combat against them is not just a heroic tale, but a powerful symbol of the struggle to keep nature in harmony. Each clash between Thor and the giants is a struggle to protect the land from the forces that seek to engulf it in frost and darkness. In his battles, Thor is more than just a warrior, he is a symbol of the Earth's resilience. His courage and strength stand as a testament to the power of nature to resist and overcome adversity. When the forces of chaos threaten to destroy what is pure and orderly, Thor's defense is both fierce and unwavering. His heroism is a reflection of nature's own struggle to maintain its sanctity against those who seek to corrupt it. The storms Thor commands are also a source of life. While they can bring destruction, they are also essential for the renewal of the land. Rainstorms nourish the soil, lightning promotes growth by triggering chemical reactions, and thunderstorms clear the air. Thor's control over these elements is a reminder of the dual nature of nature itself, its capacity for both creation and destruction, and the delicate balance that must be maintained. Thor's battles are not limited to the frost giants. His encounters with other mythic beings, such as the Midgard serpent, also highlight his role as the defender of nature. The Midgard serpent, a creature of immense power and darkness, threatens to flood the world with chaos. Thor's battle with this serpent is a dramatic clash between order and disorder, a struggle that echoes the eternal conflict between the forces that seek to maintain harmony and those that seek to disrupt it. Each victory Thor claims is not just a triumph over evil but a restoration of balance. His strength and bravery ensure that the natural order is preserved and that the world remains a place where the forces of chaos are kept at bay. His role as the Thunderer is a crucial part of the cosmic balance, a reminder of the powerful connection between the gods and the natural world they strive to protect. Through the thunder and lightning, Thor's presence is felt as a guardian and a warrior. His fierce dedication to maintaining the natural order is a source of inspiration and awe. The storms he commands are not just manifestations of his power, but symbols of his unwavering commitment to protecting the delicate balance of the world. Thor's legacy as the Thunderer and defender of the natural order is a powerful testament to the enduring connection between the divine and the natural world. His battles and victories are etched into the very fabric of Norse mythology, a reminder of the strength and resilience required to safeguard nature and ensure that it remains a place of wonder and balance. In the heart of the ancient Aztec world, the feathered serpent swirled through the heavens, his scales shimmering with the colors of the rainbow. Quetzalcoatl, the god of wind, rain, and agriculture, was more than a deity, he was the lifeblood of the earth, the very essence of nature's cycles. His presence brought life, sustenance, and the promise of renewal to a people who revered him with all their hearts. When Quetzalcoatl spoke, the wind carried his whispers across the land. His voice was the breeze that rustled the leaves, the soft sigh that cooled the air. He was the breath of the earth itself, essential for the growth of crops and the flourishing of life. In every gust of wind, there was a reminder of his divine touch, a promise of growth and prosperity. Rain was Quetzalcoatl's sacred gift. As the sky darkened and the heavens opened, it was his tears that fell upon the land. Each drop of rain was a blessing, a nourishment for the seeds hidden in the soil. Under his watchful eye, the rain came at just the right time, ensuring that crops could grow and flourish. The fields transformed from barren ground into lush, green expanses, rich with the promise of food and life. Without Quetzalcoatl's rains, the earth would wither, and the people would suffer. Quetzalcoatl's role in agriculture went beyond merely providing rain. He was also the guardian of the cycles that brought the crops to life. The changing seasons, the ebb and flow of the natural world, were all under his influence. He ensured that the earth's fertility was maintained, that the cycles of planting and harvest followed their natural rhythms. The farmers, with hands in the dirt and hearts full of hope, looked to the skies and felt his presence guiding their work. The growth of crops under Quetzalcoatl's care was nothing short of miraculous. Fields that had once been dry and lifeless would burst into vibrant greens, filled with the promise of abundance. The corn, the beans, the squash, all the staples of Aztec life, thrived under his watchful gaze. His influence meant that every meal was a gift from the gods, a reminder of the delicate balance between human effort and divine grace. In times of drought or famine, the people turned their eyes to the skies, hoping for Quetzalcoatl's intervention. The feathered serpent's favor was not taken for granted. The people prayed and made offerings, honoring the god who held their future in his hands. Their gratitude was profound, knowing that their survival depended on the cycles he controlled. Quetzalcoatl's connection to the earth was a profound and tender bond. He was not just a distant deity, he was intimately connected to the world he protected. His movements across the sky were the dance of the seasons, his presence a constant reminder of the cycles that governed life. The feathered serpent's role was both grand and deeply personal, touching the lives of every person who relied on the land he nurtured. In every harvest, every thriving crop, the people saw Quetzalcoatl's blessings. The abundance of food was a testament to his care and a symbol of his power. The celebrations and festivals that marked the planting and harvest seasons were filled with joy and reverence. They were not merely celebrations of the end of a cycle, but also of the divine gift that had made it possible. The feathered serpent's influence extended beyond the tangible gifts of rain and crops. He was also a symbol of the balance between humanity and nature. His presence reminded the people of their place in the world, a reminder that their well-being was intertwined with the health of the earth. Quetzalcoatl was a bridge between the divine and the mortal, a protector who ensured that the natural world could continue to sustain life. In the quiet moments, when the rain fell softly on the fields and the wind whispered through the trees, the people felt Quetzalcoatl's presence most acutely. It was in these moments of stillness that they were reminded of the profound connection between their lives and the natural world. The feathered serpent's legacy was not just in the crops that grew or the rains that fell, but in the deep sense of gratitude and respect that he inspired in the hearts of those who lived under his watchful eye. When the first rays of dawn touch the vast, endless oceans and rivers, Varana's presence stirs the waters to life. In the ancient whispers of the Vedic hymns, he is more than a deity, he is the very pulse of the cosmic order, the sovereign of the oceans, and the guardian of the rivers. Varana is not just a god of water but a profound symbol of the balance and harmony that governs both nature and the universe. Envision the oceans as they stretch out under the vast, starlit sky. Varana's hand controls these mighty waters, ensuring their flow and movement reflect the deep rhythms of cosmic order. His power is both awe-inspiring and gentle. With a mere thought, he commands the tides, shaping the seas with a delicate precision that sustains life and maintains the natural world's balance. Every crest of a wave, every ripple in the river, bears the mark of his influence, a silent testament to his control over the waters. The rivers, winding their way through the landscape, are also under Varana's dominion. His touch transforms them from mere streams into life-giving arteries that nourish the land and its inhabitants. The water flowing from the mountains to the valleys, from the springs to the seas, carries the essence of Varana's grace. It is in these waters that the land finds its vitality, and the people, their sustenance. Each drop that quenches the earth, every river that carves its path through the land, is a reflection of Varana's enduring presence. Varana's influence extends beyond the physical realm of water. He embodies the cosmic law that governs all existence, ensuring that every action and reaction within the universe aligns with the divine order. He is the keeper of the natural laws, the one who maintains the balance between chaos and order. The celestial bodies, the shifting tides, and the ever-changing weather patterns are all under his watchful gaze. Varana's connection to the cosmic order is a reminder of the delicate equilibrium that sustains life, a balance that must be respected and upheld. In moments of peace, when the water flows smoothly and the sky is calm, Varana's presence is felt most profoundly. The gentle lapping of waves against the shore, the soothing sound of a river's flow, is his way of communicating with the world. These serene moments are a reflection of his eternal vigilance and his commitment to maintaining the harmony of the natural and cosmic realms. Yet, when storms arise and the seas become turbulent, it is a testament to Varana's power and his role in the cosmic balance. The storms are not just manifestations of chaos, but a reminder of the delicate equilibrium that must be maintained. Varanus storms are a force of nature, a powerful reminder of his ability to control and regulate the elements, ensuring that even in turmoil, the natural order is preserved. The connection between Varana and the rivers is deeply symbolic. Rivers are more than just waterways, they are lifelines that connect different regions, bringing together diverse ecosystems and people. Varana's control over these rivers signifies his role as a unifying force, linking various aspects of the natural world and ensuring their harmonious coexistence. The rivers, flowing ceaselessly, carry Varana's essence from one place to another, spreading his influence far and wide. In the grand tapestry of existence, Varana's role is both grand and intimate. He is the cosmic guardian, ensuring that the natural world and the universe remain in balance. His presence is felt in the quiet moments of reflection by the riverbank and in the powerful, awe-inspiring movements of the ocean. Every element of water, from the smallest stream to the vastest ocean, bears the mark of his divine influence. Varana's connection to cosmic and natural law is a profound reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. His control over the oceans and rivers, his maintenance of the natural order, and his influence on the cosmic balance highlight the delicate harmony that sustains the universe. In every wave that crashes upon the shore, and every river that winds its way through the land, Varana's presence is a silent, enduring testament to the divine order that governs all existence. As the sun sets behind the horizon, casting its golden glow over the land, we are reminded of the timeless figures who have walked with us through the ages, embodying the deep connection between humanity and nature. These heroes of mythology, from the roaring seas to the whispering forests, represent more than mere stories. They are eternal symbols of harmony between the natural world and human existence. Consider Maui, whose mighty deeds transformed the land and sea. With a single, awe-inspiring act, he pulled the islands from the depths of the ocean, shaping the world as we know it. His feats were not just acts of power, but gestures of love for the world he sought to perfect. Maui's adventures tell us of the deep bond between humanity and the environment, a bond that holds us together in a delicate dance of give and take. Then there is Artemis, the protector of wild animals and the wilderness. Her fierce dedication to safeguarding the creatures of the forest and the untouched lands paints a vivid picture of her unyielding spirit. Artemis is more than a hunter, she is a guardian of balance, a reminder of our duty to protect the world's beauty and diversity. In her actions, we see a profound respect for nature and an urgent call to preserve it. In the rich tapestry of Celtic mythology, Danu emerges as the nurturing force behind the rivers and the cycles of fertility. Her presence is felt in the life-giving waters that nourish the earth and in the fertile lands that yield crops. Danu's story is a reminder of the cycles that sustain life. Seasons change, rivers flow, and growth follows. Her influence speaks to our deep-rooted need to respect and care for the natural world, acknowledging its vital role in our survival. Across the vastness of the ocean, Thor's thunderous presence commands attention. As the storm god and defender of the natural order, his battles against the forces that threaten the balance of nature are legendary. Thor's strength and courage remind us of the need to protect the natural world from those who seek to disrupt its harmony. His thunder is not just a sound, but a powerful symbol of nature's raw force and its critical importance in our lives. In the lush forests of Maori mythology, Tane Mahuta stands as the revered guardian of trees and birds. His role in creating and protecting the forests underscores the essential connection between humanity and nature. Tane Mahuta's legacy teaches us that our survival is intertwined with the health of our environment. The towering trees and the vibrant bird life are not just elements of nature but vital parts of our shared existence. The thunderous roar of the thunderbird, a powerful figure in Native American mythology, echoes through the storms and the skies. This majestic creature maintains the balance between humans and the environment, ensuring that both coexist in harmony. The thunderbird's control over the storms is a profound reminder of nature's power and its crucial role in maintaining equilibrium. In the ancient lands of Mesopotamia, the friendship between Gilgamesh and Enkidu reveals a poignant narrative of nature versus civilization. Enkidu, wild and untamed, contrasts sharply with Gilgamesh's civilized world. Their bond highlights the struggle between the natural world and human advancement. Through their story, we grasp the delicate balance required to coexist peacefully with nature while striving for progress. The feathered serpent, Quetzalcoatl, reigns over the Aztec lands with his dominion over wind, rain, and agriculture. His influence on the growth of crops and the sustenance of life symbolizes the intricate connection between human sustenance and the natural forces that make it possible. Quetzalcoatl's role is a reminder of the harmony required to ensure the continued prosperity of both the land and its people. Varuna, the Vedic god of water, commands the oceans and rivers with a divine authority that maintains cosmic order. His role extends beyond the physical realm of water to encompass the laws that govern the universe. Varuna's control over the waters reflects the profound respect for natural and cosmic balance that underpins all existence. In these stories and many more, we find echoes of the deep respect for nature that transcends cultures and eras. Each hero, from the storm gods to the river deities, embodies a facet of our relationship with the natural world. Their stories are not just ancient myths, but enduring symbols of our need to live in harmony with the environment. They remind us of the delicate balance required to preserve the natural world and the critical importance of respecting and protecting the forces that sustain life.